All right, y'all. People think that being fat is just about looks. You know, you got a big stomach, not don't like looking at yourself in the mirror, and in reality, when you're fat for a really long time and you've been like that your whole life, you're used to it. I mean, it's not really about the looks. That's not the main thing that bothers you. You know, it's really a lot more than that. Because at the end of the day, you know, being fat, even if you're not super fat, just like overweight, it's something that affects you mentally every single day because you're constantly thinking about it. Like, one thing is that we're constantly thinking about how we look all the time. Pulling your shirt down, you know, when you go in a picture, you want to maybe you want to be in the back. You don't want to be in the center of attention. You're not necessarily that person that wants to be in the front of everything, you know. You even think maybe you look weird sitting down because maybe your belly sticks out when you sit down, like a bunch of stuff like that. And it's all a mental toll. It's really interesting because I lived like that for a very, very long time, and it's not fun. It's not fun. So when people say, "Oh, it's just about getting a six pack," yeah, the six pack is what you want, but the mental toll it takes on yourself being fat, and that bleeds into other things because now you're stressed. Because if you're constantly thinking about how you look, now that bleeds into mental bandwidth that you can't put into your work or your family or other things. So it's a lot more than just the looks at the end of the day, you know. Another thing is we don't trust ourselves. So I didn't trust myself for a very long time. I didn't feel like I did what I said I was going to do, you know. And when I didn't trust myself, I would lose confidence because at the end of the day, if I don't believe that I'm going to get done what I say, my confidence is down the drain, you know. And so I'll tell myself, I'll start on Monday, you know, I'll do it next week. And even if it wasn't necessarily just, you know, the weight loss stuff, maybe it was something for work, or I would make a promise that I couldn't keep. I was very, very unsure of what I could actually get done because I felt like I had never done anything or completed anything all the way through. And it all stemmed from this weight loss thing because every single week I'll tell myself I'll start on Monday, or I messed up today, start again tomorrow, or this is almost the end of the year, I'll start again in January. And that takes a toll on your mental, you know, as a man, especially if you feel like you're a man of your word, but you don't even trust your own word because you tell yourself something, but you don't do it, or you try to do it and you're constantly thinking about it, but at the end of the day, it doesn't get done. And so constantly failing yourself over and over and over again, it's not a good feeling. It's not, but nobody talks about that part. They just act like that part, you know, they don't even think about it. You know, so that's a huge thing. Another thing is I would avoid things. So this was huge because I could avoid communication with my family for a long time. I would avoid wanting to see people that I haven't seen in a while because you don't know what they're going to say. You don't know if they're going to see that you gained weight or something. You don't know if they're going to mention it, or even if they don't mention it, everyone knows. You know, if you're lean and you're confident and you look good, you're excited to see people you haven't seen in a while because you want them to say something. You want to be acknowledged on that. But it's also the opposite if you didn't do that. So if you failed on your diet 100 times and, you know, you gained probably 10 pounds since the last time you see them a year ago, it's not you don't want to, like, it's not an exciting thing sometimes. You're very self-conscious about that. And so that has a huge effect. It has a huge effect. And so it could affect relationships. It could affect your family relationships. It's not fun. It's not fun. It's very taxing. It's very taxing on the mind, for sure. I would avoid buying clothes. It's another thing. Why would I want to buy clothes if I got to go a size bigger? Or every time I go buy clothes, I got to get a different size. Or even if I don't have to get a different size, I'm reminded of how big I have to wear my clothes. and how much bigger it is than I'd want it to be. Or I'll tell myself I'm gonna lose weight, so I don't want to buy a new wardrobe because I'm gonna need a whole new wardrobe when my weight goes down. You see how that it causes a whole cycle of just unhealthy thoughts. You know, so I'd avoid buying dates for myself, avoid buying clothes. You even avoid looking in the mirror at some point. When you're overweight, you're fat, you know, you don't want to look in the mirror all the time. You know, it could really mess with your confidence of how you see yourself as well. So avoid looking in the mirror, avoid taking pictures. Why would someone who's not confident in how they look, why would someone want to continually take pictures of themselves? There was a period of time where I think I had 0 pictures of myself from the whole year in my actual phone. That's how bad it is, because no one wants to look at themselves when they don't like how they look. It just never happened to me, but there's a lot of people I know. It even gets to the point where you brush your teeth with the lights off, like you don't want to see yourself. It's that bad, you know. And then when you're just coasting through life and you not really taking an initiative, you might forget how you look. You know, you might forget how bad it's gotten, and then when you look at yourself, it's a reminder. So you want to avoid that. You know what I mean? So it's a very, very uncomfortable feeling. It is. And so at the end of the day, even avoiding little events, birthdays, someone has a birthday at the beach, or a family wants to go to the beach, friends want to go to the beach, or go to a pool party, go to the pool, we avoid things like that because you're just not comfortable in those situations. And there are those people that are still confident, or they pretend to be confident even if they're super fat, and they go and still take their shirt off and all that stuff. That takes another level of like humility, because they really maybe they don't mind if people see them that way, but no one genuinely is happy about how they look when they look like that. Genuinely, like you're not in your heart genuinely, yeah, I'm happy looking like this, is cool, I'm okay with the big ass stomach, I'm cool with that. Nobody is really cool with that. At the end of the day, you might convince yourself, because I've definitely done it, convince myself that I like how I look, I'm good, attractive, whatever, but nothing beats self-improvement. That's just the reality. And so again, avoid pool events, avoid beach, anywhere where I got to take my shirt off or be the center of attention. That stuff is avoided, and it can mess with your social life as well. So it even gets to the point where like there's certain sports you don't even want to try it out because you're going to be too tired. You know, like I loved basketball. There was times where I don't even want to play basketball, you know, because if you feel like you're not in shape to perform doing the sport, then why would I want to quote unquote embarrass myself going out and doing that, being overweight? It encompasses every factor of your life to a point where everything is a struggle, everything is a decision. You constantly have to decide if you really want to do that, because you got to weigh out the pros and the cons, all because of the extra fat. All because of the extra fat. It's quite frustrating, honestly. And then thinking on that same mindset, it really consumes every part of your life. Because if you're consuming a lot of weight loss content, that's another thing. So now you're thinking about it all the time. All right, how am I going to lose weight? How am I going to lose weight? And you feel like you're constantly working towards it, but you're not actually making progress towards it, you know? So if you're consuming weight loss content all the time, I still do consume a lot of weight loss content. And doing that, if I'm not making progress, but I'm always thinking about it, always watching it, looking at recipes, looking at different workouts, if you're not too sure on what to do, so you're looking at HIIT cardio, you're looking at regular cardio, you're looking at crunches, you're looking at the 15-minute ab burning whatever, you know, because you're constantly thinking about how you could lose this weight, but you're not actually making progress towards it. So you're almost taking on the mental stress of someone who is making progress, but then you're not getting the results of that. So you feel like you've been trying your whole life. That's happened to me so much. It fully encompasses my life, and I'm always the guy who's trying to lose weight. That's really what it comes down to. And so it's that mental strain it puts on top of everything else. It makes life not very fun. It's not. Life is not very fun when you're living like that, you know. Now, with all that being said, it is quite, you know, not a happy experience living in a body like that with a lifestyle like that. But the good news here is, in reality, that changes once you become someone who believes in your own promises you make to yourself. So for me personally, it didn't change getting lean, because I'm not lean yet, you know, but it changed once I started to believe in what I say I'm gonna do, because I actually stuck to what I'm going to do, whatever it is. You could be doing the complete wrong thing, but as long as you stick to it and do it, then that whole mindset shifts, and it's like a switch in my brain, because now, even though I'm not at my goal, I'm way more confident. Even though I'm not at my goal, I'm way more direct, I'm way more controlled, I'm way more, what's the word? I'm way more intentional about everything I do, because now I have everything locked in to a point where I believe what I say about I'm gonna do. I believe it because I've already done it, and I'm gonna continue to do it. And I did it yesterday, and I did it the day before, and I did it the week before that, and the month before that. And so it doesn't take long for that shift. You don't have to be 12%, 10% body fat for that shift to happen. All you have to do is make that one change that you promised yourself that you're gonna do. And don't just say you're gonna do it, just do it. One easy change, nothing crazy. The extremes is where you mess up, because when you do something extreme, then, and you can't stick to it, now you're making it worse, because you're redoing that cycle again. So if you're fat and you feel this way, the good news is you can change it today. How to change it today? This is what I want you to do. So after you watch this video, make one promise to yourself that you can keep. Something super simple. 20-minute cardio session today, or just track my calories for one day, or it's a very, very easy, simple task that you know you can accomplish. Once you do that and you complete it, come back to this video, let me know what you did and what you chose. That one task will change your mentality slightly. You'll start to feel more confident because you actually did what you said you're gonna do. So that's what I want y'all to do right now. Create that one promise, make one promise to yourself, follow it, tell me what it is that you guys did, and I'm gonna see y'all next time. Lock in.